Hey, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to another episode, another week here on A Cup of Joe on CCN TV6. My name is Joe Filofano. Alongside me in green is Bill Jackson.
That's right.
Quite a number you have on there.
Thanks. You know, they say it's not easy being green. I make it look effortless. That's what I've decided.
That's what you do.
Yes.
That's what you do. How was your weekend? What you been up to?
Hectic. You know, I have a new show coming up.
You have a new production coming up?
Yes, I do.
When is it? Is it September?
It is
August,
the first
September?
weekend in September, possibly with another run a few weeks after that.
Nice.
But yes, we're working diligently. Same fabulous team.
Nice.
Auntie Penny, Nikki, Deborah, Cecilia. We also have Kern, who we interviewed a few weeks ago, or was it last week?
Yeah.
And a new young talent on the scene by the name of Jaron Remy as well. So,
I like how the theatre community is dragging out talent.
You know, I feel as though if I'm going to be a young producer in the mix, I need to
drag out young actors.
Yes,
yeah, I agree
because
with you.
I remember being, you know, a newbie, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, just back home from school, you know, calling up Raymond and being like, I just came back home, can I come help on your production? And he said yes, and I went, and you know, I know what it's like to, you know, want to do things. So I just feel like a young production company should give voice to young talent
actors
as well.
Yeah,
you know, so a little bit on the hectic side, trying to pull things together, but I'll tell you more about it as we come closer.
As we come along, yes. Excellent. Action Jackson, as I like to call her. She's always in the mix.
Well, this week is pre-Independence.
It is.
We are leading up to Independence Day, and as such, I thought maybe we would shape our week. You know.
But before you shape your week, I have been looking at some pics that I saw on social media, and I got a little concerned. One of you that many of you would know that Abiyo Jackson is recovering from some injuries. You know, she's recovering from some injuries. She is taking it slow. She's not as quick as she needs to be.
I'm quick.
And I found this. Kevon, just make sure you get this for me, please. Make sure we get this nice and close for trying to be able to see.
Wow, nicely played, Joel.
Abiyo Jackson, you need to explain why you are in a...
Nicely played.
Why are you splitting with a knee injury?
Well, first of all, that's not a split.
That's not a split?
That's called a straddle.
It looks very much like a split to me. Your legs are split apart.
I was at a dance rehearsal.
Abiyo Jackson, are you pushing the envelope a little too quickly?
I am pushing the envelope, and to tell me to go any slower would be like telling a fish not to swim. I'm working, the Cocoa Dance Festival is coming up in October, and I needed to get my application in for my piece, so I was at rehearsal, and I was testing my knee to see what it could and couldn't do, because I am going to physiotherapy, and I just feel like physiotherapy is working very slowly.
It actually is a slow but sure process, huh?
Yes, but I need to be in the tip-top shape of my life in the next few months. So physiotherapy is going to need to work a little faster.
All right, what's coming up inside our cup?
You had that for me for a while.
I'm holding that one.
Back to business, Cup of Joe business. Let's take a peek inside of the cup. Brought to you with the kind compliments of...
Rani Flatbreads.
Right. So it's pre-independence week.
It is.
And, you know, I would like to deal with things that, you know, are nationalistic in nature, at least. So you're going to be seeing things that touch on the national instrument this week, touch on calypso, iconic spaces and TNT, that kind of stuff you're going to be seeing this week. So yeah, you can look out for that. We're kicking it off today talking about Pan.
Right.
And last season, we were fortunate enough to talk with Bugsy.
Yes.
And this season, I said, well, I would hunt down Amrit Samaroo.
Nice.
However, a few weeks ago, it was brought to my attention that, you know, he's not exactly in the best of health, and that his son is doing some amazing stuff and amazing work, and I thought I would contact him so that, you know, he could chat about his father's legacy, what's happening with his daddy right now, as well as, you know, existing work and upcoming work that he's getting involved with. So we're going to be chatting with Amrit Samaroo inside of Share a Cup.
The son of Amrit Samaroo.
Son of Amrit Samaroo. We're also going to meet with fabulous folk at Republic Bank today. We have a lovely gentleman who is waiting in the wings to give us a financial fix.
Fix it.
He's going to help you fix it, and he's going to make it fun and easy to understand.
Fix it financially.
So that's coming up with from Republic Bank. Inside of Cut for a Cause, we're talking woman power and woman networking and assistance with a group called AFET. Lovely.
AFET.
Yes, lovely.
Never heard of them.
Good. Well, Cavell Joseph.
Never heard of them.
Cavell Joseph, who is the president
Never heard of them.
of the organization, is going to tell you what the organization is all about. Because I'm certain there are a lot of folk out there who don't know what it is. All right? So it's a jam-packed kind of day today. And, of course, we have our spoken word spotlight. The other side of the twin today, Brenden.
You serious?
Yes. So you get to meet him.
I get to meet the other side.
Other side of the twin.
I met Brenden or Branden?
You met Brenden.
I met Brenden.
So today you're going to meet Brenden O'Brien.
Brenden O'Brien.
Right.
Twins. Are they going to do a performance together?
I don't know.
I think Brenden or Brenden?
Which one?
What are you trying
to say? Brenden.
Brenden is first.
Yes.
We had Brenden already. I asked Brenden if they ever did a piece together as twins. And he said, yeah, they did a piece. So I wanted to see whether or not we could have squeezed in a piece. Probably not this season.
Well, we'll see. Maybe next season.
Next season?
Maybe.
Next season.
Maybe. So we'll see.
I think that would be interesting.
Of course it will.
Are they identical twins?
Yes.
All right, when I meet him, I will try to
All right, so there you have it.
All right. That's what's coming up inside our cup today, Ms.
Brought
Jackson.
to you by
Rani Flatbreads. We take a short break. When we come back, we speak with Amrit Samaroo, the son of legendary Panist and arranger Jit Samaroo.
Take us up to Surrey village. We would, as I say, I would always be inspired. That inspired me. Seeing the family staying together and playing together. That really resonated with me as a young kid.
My observation of this story is a red blood-stained white sheet with black boys underneath. Red, white, and black. Don't you see how this looks like our national flag?
Could make some Trini favorites any day with Rani Flatbread. You give some tomatoes a roast, cook in oil and seasoning, 5 minutes at most. Give Rani a light toast, fill with choker, and be an epic host.
Now that's a Rani good idea.
One morning, Peter walked out to find every flower that he never stopped to notice. Every sunrise that he never watched, every football match he forgot to play with his son, and arrived at a cafe to find every conversation he never had with his father. And it was only then that Peter finally decided to wake up. Wake up to life. Nescafe. Nestle. Good food, good life.
We're the one who's always there to help you all of the way.
Systems that work for you as you live life each day. We're the one who makes it easier to
We give personal attention, so make us your selection.
Hey, welcome back and thanks for spending Monday morning with us and sharing a cup. This morning, if you recall, we did Bugsy Sharp back in our first season, and we thought it best to sort out one of his biggest rivals in Trinidad and Tobago, which was Jit Samaroo. Jit Samaroo, composer, arranger, panist, extraordinaire. Hails from Lopino, started to play the pan when he was just about 14 years of age. Landed the job as the arranger of the big band Renegades when it was back in 1971, I believe it was. And over the last few years, Jit Samaroo sort of eased off the front line. We sought him out, and we understand that he has been suffering with the disease known as Alzheimer's. And we have with us this morning his son, Amrit Samaroo, is here with us sharing a cup. Good morning, sir.
Good day, good day.
Thanks for joining us. Can I get something for you to drink? Can I
cup
offer
of
you a
Joe.
drink? A cup of Joe?
Would
Fair
be great.
enough. All right, great. I mean, this when we heard of this, as I said, we thought it best to have you here with us, just to bring us up to speed on what's the health of your father, Chit Samaroo.
Well, not much people would know this because, as you said earlier, my dad kind of eased off the scene. That was due to Alzheimer's. This is probably his 7th year with the disease. 7th year? Yes. So, I mean, everything that comes along with it, you know, is basically upon him. People wouldn't hear about it, or they probably didn't hear about it earlier because it was deliberate on the family's part. Because my dad, he really cherished his personal life.
Yeah.
As a lot of people would know, he didn't do this interviews. It's kind of strange for me being in front of these cameras and lights without an instrument in front of me.
Right.
But that was my dad's legacy and part of his persona. And because of that, he protected us as kids, my mom and the entire family when we were kids, and he was in the media, you know, hunted by the media. So it was kind of us protecting him in his hour of need. Beside that, we grieved as a family for a long time because we had to come to terms with this thing, because it was a lot of education happening in terms of getting information and getting counseling from doctors, you know, about the disease and what to expect, and you know how it would play out, you know. So that's the thing. As I say, it's the 7th year with the disease now, and as I say, everything that usually comes with it is setting in now.
What I needed to do, because I actually know exactly what you're talking about, because I experienced it within my own family. My father-in-law also suffered with the disease. And I guess explain exactly what the family would have experienced over the last 7 years, because Alzheimer's has to do a lot with the mental capacity of an individual. Just tell us what you guys would have experienced over the last.
Well, you know, people think Alzheimer's is just a matter of him losing his memory. Yeah. That's not the case. Yeah. Alzheimer's is the actual shutting down of the brain. And, you know, the memory is kind of the first to go, and the first thing you'll notice, especially in the field of music and especially in Pan, because everything is done by rote, you know, in Renegades for a long time. You know, when he was there, that's how he would come and he would teach a player, and now that player has to retain. If that player doesn't retain, he has to go back to my dad and he has to put it down again if he can't remember. So in a way, it was a good thing that he was doing music, because we identified the problem early. Right. You know, probably if it was a routine job that, say, gardening or you know, manual labor, you would not have noticed that, you know, so quickly, because it's like a routine. You do it every day, but not in music. Everything comes from here, and especially with him. So yeah, he really it's really the brain shutting down, and that's just one facet of the disease.
And you said 7 years, so and you told almost songs as well that he would have practiced his trade. Up, that was what, 2007. He was practicing his trade up until you all recognized he was suffering with the disease.
I would say his last 2 panoramas, he did it with the disease.
Yeah.
I was his brain, right? I was his memory.
Wow.
A lot of people saw me behind him all the time, but I was kind of normal in Renegades Spaniard. Whenever I would walk in the band, I would be behind him. I was a shadow. He would trip on me, because I loved the instrument so much, and I was proud of my dad, and still is. And I always wanted to emulate him. And I saw that, you know, he had this problem. He told me, look, really have this problem now, you know, and I would need your help. I was like, of course. And well, at the time, I was the arranger of BP Renegade's Youth Steel Orchestra. And so I had that experience already. So the last 2 panoramas that he would have worked with, I was his memory.
So let me just, this might sound like a harsh question, but I know it's a reality as well. Does he recognize you? Does he recognize his family? Is he at what stage is he at?
It's sort of advanced. I mean, as I say, it's a disease of the brain, so his faculties to talk, communicative skills, that has depleted. So he can't express himself the way, you know, you would usually do, but he does it through other means. So I like to think of it that he does remember me and he knows me, but he just can't express that. You know? So we say that.
You know?
know?
The good thing about it, and as I said, with everything in life, you know, there's a flip side, and you have taken on that mantle to carry on his legacy. Before we get into that, I want to take a short break because you have literally decided that you are now going to be the face of Jit Samaroo going forward. Well,
I wouldn't say I've decided that. A lot
that happened naturally?
It kind of happened for itself, you know.
All right. When we come back, Amrit, we will talk a little bit about that and what we can do for Jit Samaroo, if anything at all, as one of the legends of T&T, of course, in one of his lower times. We're taking a short break here on A Cup of Joe. We're coming right back.
They are best friends. They share everything: experiences, moments, and adventures. They're always together. Protect them with Clim 1 Plus from Nestle. It's the only growing up milk with Prebio 1 to help protect them from gastrointestinal diseases. Your instinct is to love and protect him. Clim will do the same. Nestle, good food, good life.
Why settle for a one-note cereal? Get more with Honey Bunches of Oats. 4 nutritious grains come together for more taste, more texture, more healthy satisfaction. Have a bowl of happy.
All right, welcome back, folks. So we are sharing a cup with the son of Jit Samaroo, Amrit Samaroo. And if you're now joining us, we just was speaking with Amrit Samaroo, and he informed us that his dad has been suffering with the Alzheimer's disease, which is a disease that affects the mental capacity of an individual, the loss of memory, and it really is a disease that is very taxing on the family. And Amrit and his family going through that as we speak with Jit. It's been 7 years that Jit Samaroo has been suffering with the disease, but he's still fighting on, still very much here with us on the earth. And I just want to take you back down memory lane before I take you forward, Amrit, because tell me, it's four kids, I think. 4 kids, yourself and 3 siblings. What was it like growing up in the Panyard with Jit Samaroo?
Well, I mean, I was born into Pan. I mean, quite literally. The family, he has the family band called Samaroo Jets. Yeah, from eons. You know,
that started before he got involved with Renegades.
With Renegades, yes. You know, so that was back in the 60s. You know, we are approaching the 40th anniversary of the group, actually.
So the group is still very much alive.
Yes. So yeah, very much active. So I mean, with the rest of my cousins, would be close to the Pan Theatre where they practice. You know, they take us up to the Surrey village in Lovino, and you know, we would. As I say, I would always be inspired. That inspired me. You know, seeing the family staying together and playing together. You know, that really resonated with me as a young kid, you know, and I wanted to do the same with my cousins and my sisters and brothers, you know. So from a little guy coming up, you know, I craved attention. Yeah. You know, so the bug bit me from early.
Yeah.
And you know, I had my first like solo performance at the age of 6. Yeah. You know, and went on from there. Won, you know, the junior solo competitions. You know, growing up, and from there, as I say, I just wanted to express myself more and more, and arranging was the perfect avenue for that. You know, solo you have one pan, is so much you could do, and but with our orchestra you could really, you know,
express so much more.
Paint more pictures.
Describe him for me.
My dad.
Yeah, describe him for me.
Quiet, in front of cameras, in public, you know, respectable, noble, I would say. At home, a father, a true friend. I mean, because I spent most of my younger years with him when I could, because he was traveling a lot. I mean, sometimes 6 months, 8 months for the year, he would be overseas with Renegades or Samaroo Jets. So when this one time he went away, and I was about probably 11. When he came back, he saw me with a mustache. It's like, when that happened? You know, so then he's like, yo, I need to cool it. And, you know, he told the band, I'm going to slow down now. My kid's growing up, and I don't see anything. So from there, we really bonded a lot more. And he really didn't teach me. I mean, he was like the hardest teacher to learn from, but the easiest as well. Because his work spoke volumes, and I would listen. I'm a very good listener, so I would listen and imitate as much as I could. And you know, that kind of, when I started with the Renegades Youth Steel Orchestra, you know, a lot of people say, well, is Jit doing the music and he's playing his son name? You know, and that was so far from the truth, because my dad actually encouraged me not to get into arranging and not to get into steel pan. It's a rough game, and he wanted, you know, me to be comfortable, go and get an office job, you know, make sure that paycheck coming in. But it wasn't me. I'm an artist.
You wanted to step into his shoes almost. And you've done that.
Well, yeah.
Because you know an arranger.
I'm into these shoes, and I have no intentions of filling it, however, because it's huge. So I wanted to chart my own course. You know?
Tell us about what you're doing now.
Well, as I said, I went from Renegades Junior Steel Orchestra to the Senior Steel Orchestra. I did 2 years of arranging with them, and then wanted to, as I say, I wanted to leave my mark, a different mark, if I will. I just didn't want to be known as Jit Samaroo's son. I wanted people to know me as Amrit Samaroo, because I think I have something in me that needs to be expressed and people need to hear as well. So I formed with my cousin Anthony Samaroo. We formed the Supernovas Steel Orchestra, which is located in Surrey Village, Lupino Road. That's Lupino, where Jit is originally from, Surrey Village, in Lupino. So yeah, that's at the point I'm at right now. I'm also performing with the National Steel Symphony Orchestra of Trinidad and Tobago, and I've been with them since 2007 as well. So, you know.
So one of these days you got to come back and do an actual performance for us.
Boy.
You do an actual performance as well.
Well, I mean, I was asked earlier, but as I say, I concentrated on more arranging.
More arranging now,
you know, Sharp is a man, you know, he could come in and drop it anytime. You know, that's the kind of guy he is, you know, super talented. And I don't have that kind of chops. I would stay behind the band and make sure everybody plays the correct thing.
Correct.
You know?
You mentioned that Jit would have discouraged you almost from getting into the business. What do you think he would tell you now, seeing that you have literally stepped into his shoes, so to speak?
Well, I mean, I just remembered, like, the last time I arranged for the junior band. I mean, he had already known this diagnosis and all of that, and he told me, "You're going good. Just keep it up. You know, keep your feet on the ground. and keep your head further than your feet.
Yeah.
You know, just stay down there and be humble and everything. You let your music talk. And so, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. So I think I'm doing all right for now.
So he gave you his blessings.
Yes,
before.
he did.
He gave you his blessings.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Anything that you would publicly like to tell, because Jit Samaroo is a son of the soil, known son of the soil. This is what the family is going through, and I'm sure you guys would like your privacy in dealing with it. But anything you would want to tell Trinidad and Tobago in terms of Jit Samaroo and his legacy?
I think his work spoke for itself. However, I would like Trinidad and Tobago to learn a little more about mental illness. I mean, just don't see somebody on the side of the road acting erratically and just label them as mad. You know, that's what we tend to do as a nation, and step away. These people need help. And it wasn't until it hit home that we recognized these symptoms in people that we see now. I mean, dementia is a hell of a thing, you know, and it's not the person's fault. You know, so I think we, as a nation, we will do much better learning about mental illness and how we could assist people. You know.
Amrit, I want to thank you for dropping by and sharing this with us, because I suppose it would have been easy for you to remain behind closed doors and deal with it behind closed doors. I know it's not an easy thing to deal with.
It's not.
And I said I kind of have first-hand information, but for people who I think my wife and I always say, there's no way you could understand dealing with this illness unless you experience it within your own family. And
that's so true. And I mean, my mom, I just want to thank her publicly.
How is she coping?
I mean, she's the main, the sole supporter and sole provider and everything for my dad right now, because I mean, she's doing a hell of a job. It's hard. It's really hard, but she's doing the best that she could, and as much as the family could help, we help. But I mean, she told us as well that, you know, you guys have your life, go ahead and live it. You know, so, but at the same time, we're there with her, neck and neck.
I want to wish you all the best. I want to also guarantee you that, you know, we'll be offering some prayers, just because I know you guys would need all the strength that you possibly can.
Thanks,
keep doing what you're doing, and I think he's smiling. I think he's smiling because you're certainly carrying on that legacy that he would have left. I know you said you don't want to fit into his shoes. But walking it, I'm sure he'll be very proud just seeing you walking in it.
Thanks, man.
Amrit, so much. Thanks so much for sharing with us this morning.
Okay, John.
All right, Amrit Samaroo, the son of Jit Samaroo, he continues to battle with the disease Alzheimer's, and he's battling on. 7 years, and he's battling on. He's still here with us. Let's wish the Samaroo family all the best as they try to deal with this particular situation. We're taking a short break here on A Cup of Joe. We are coming right back.
Want to know what you can do with Rani flatbread? You give steak a slice, lay pieces on Rani, sprinkle spice, add grated cheese and sweet peppers with a dice, and finish by rolling it up real nice.
Now that's a Rani good idea.
There's really one bank you can depend on, one bank that leads the way. Technology and systems separate us from the rest. Republic gives only the best to you. We get personal attention, so explain for your inspection.
We're back, and the long-awaited financial fix brought to you courtesy Republic Bank is finally here, folks. Yes, we have Mr. Shedley Branch with us from Republic Bank, and in a nutshell, what we're going to do is try to make finances fun and show you how to fix it. That makes sense, Abiyo Jackson? So we want to just break down all the financial jargon that's out there that may intimidate people from time to time. We're going to break it down here, courtesy Republic Bank. And Shedley is here with me. Shedley, thanks for joining us. What we're discussing today, based on, I suppose, the timing now, as kids heading back to school, is tertiary education financing. That's a big thing for parents and young teenagers and old teenagers alike.
Yes, for sure.
Break it down for me. How big a deal is tertiary education financing?
Well, it's a big deal. It's an investment in yourself.
Yes.
So like any big investment, you want to make sure and plan ahead. You don't want to wait until you get your acceptance letter, only now to be looking for financing.
Right.
So you want to make sure and arrange your finances, see what expenses you need to cover and whatnot, well in advance of you heading off to school.
Before we move on to a situation where the child or the teenager has to see about it on their own, can I get you something to drink? Can I offer you something to drink?
Coffee is
fine? A cup of joe? A cup of joe. A cup of joe, Mr. Branch. So the parent planning is one thing, but there are circumstances where a young teenager leaves school and has to now see about his or her own tertiary education financing. How do you advise? Or is that possible? Because a young teenager coming off the street, out just out of school, comes to the bank and say, I want to do law. I want to become a doctor. How does the bank deal with a situation like that?
Okay, well, how it happens is that the government has a tertiary education loan plan.
Right.
Actually referred to as the Higher Education Loan Plan.
It's working?
It's working.
It's working.
It's working.
That's the first question.
Right? So this is available for students who are seeking financing to pursue some level of tertiary education.
Right.
It's available whether for full-time students. The assumption here is that you're not working.
Right.
Right. If you're employed part-time and you're pursuing your studies part-time, it allows for that as well. As well as individuals who are maybe pursuing their education part-time but who are not yet employed. Right? So the facility is assessed and approved by the Ministry of Tertiary Education and distributed or disbursed via the various banks.
Oh, so you don't come to the bank first as a young person. You go to the ministry first, and get that level of sanctioning and approval before you come to the bank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you may be able to get the forms and whatnot.
Right.
All the forms are available at our various branches and whatnot. So, but you get it there. Maybe you might want to approach the bank from the perspective of just financial advice in terms of how much and how it would work and what your obligations are once the time is right for you to start paying back this loan.
Right.
Right.
So break it down for me in terms of the young person doing it on their own. They will be allowed that grace period of whatever course they're doing.
That is correct. So let's say we're taking the example of the individual who is not employed. You're fresh out of school. High school, doing CAPE and whatever.
Right.
You've identified a course of study that you want to do. All right. You would get your help loan application either at one of the branch, at a Republic Bank branch or another bank, or via the ministry. You fill out your application and whatnot. It's required that you've been accepted, right? So you're bringing your acceptance letter amongst the other documents that you're going to bring, right? And the amount that is required is assessed, and you are given a loan for each semester.
Right.
So you'll come in, and each semester you bring in a further letter indicating that you continue to be enrolled,
right,
and you will get the disbursement of the other additional monies.
Right.
The loan, you have a maximum of 10 years to repay the loan, right? And after you've finished, after you have completed your course of study, you have, I believe, up to 6 months by which to obtain employment.
Right.
At which time you begin paying the loan.
The bank will then say it's time to pay the loan.
Time to pay the loan.
Yeah.
All during that period of time, all during period of, that you're studying and whatnot, no payments are necessary if it is that you're full time and unemployed at the point in time.
All right, okay. Let's put it in a nutshell. Let's give you that fix-it financial by just in terms of those fix-it tips in terms of how we will put all this together. Go through it with me very quickly. The first thing you want to do is plan ahead. Don't wait until you you get that acceptance letter and said, okay, you've been accepted to XY University, and now you come hustling for finances. Plan ahead. That's important.
Plan ahead.
Yeah.
Plan ahead.
Plan
Very,
ahead.
very big.
The second thing is parents monitor living expenses of your kids away at university. Establish a budget.
Yes.
That's critical.
Oh, yes. All right. So you're away from school.
Yes.
Right? You know, cats away.
Yes.
Mouse will play.
Right.
Right? So you want to establish a budget for your living expenses. You're away, maybe in some cases, for the first time having that freedom. It could get
crazy.
It could get crazy. It could get crazy. You get caught up in your life and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you need to establish a budget for your living expenses. Now, one way that I would suggest that parents could maintain some kind of level of control of their child's expenses while they're abroad, if they've chosen to send them abroad, is via credit card, right? They can be placed. You can either use your existing credit card or maybe get a separate one just for this, right? The limit that you put on the card is like your budgetary limit.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
The parent is the main applicant, and the child is the co-applicant. So we will assess the parent, not necessarily the child.
Right.
But the child having access to that card via being a co-applicant can make all the can handle all the expenses via the credit card.
Right.
Parent being also being the main applicant of the card via online banking or via statements can monitor exactly where they are making the expenditures and whatnot.
Yeah.
So if it is that you're seeing you're seeing expenditures for books and groceries and whatnot, you're fine. If you're seeing maybe expenditure at 51 degrees and stuff like that, you know, maybe something is going wrong.
Something wrong. Let's move on to number 3. Be realistic about your financial capacity in the choice of where you pursue your studies. So if you can't afford internationally, stay local.
Well, you know what we say here, right? Moby tastes champagne pocket or vice versa, or champagne tastes or Moby pocket.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, you have to be realistic. If it is that what you are seeking to pursue as a tertiary education, or if it is that where you want to pursue it is taking you abroad, realistically, that is a relatively heavy expense. If it is that you've done an assessment of yourself and realize that that's just not in the cards, I think it's important that you establish that with your child at the onset.
Yeah.
Right?
So the expectation doesn't grow too
exactly.
high.
Exactly. So you maybe you need to look at other alternatives.
Right.
And that's the other thing. And there, I think one needs to explore all funding and financing options. The bank is one, and we are certainly happy to lend in this situation, right? But there are scholarships that you can get. There are different bursaries and whatnot. You could get financing from your families and stuff like that. You have to explore all the avenues that's available to you if it is that this is the direction that you definitely want to head.
Right. Our final fix-it tip, protect your credit rating, make all student loan and credit card payments on time. That probably is the most important one.
It's one of the most important one. I definitely had to put in a little plug there for my risk management people and whatnot. This is, if you are the student and this is your first loan, all right, main one, you want to make sure that you don't want your at this point in time that you have a bad record, right? So there's obligations that you have to meet. You meet it on time, and you keep your track record pristine, so that when we want to lend you that next loan, the next big loan for you to get your home, your house, easy peasy. Yes.
Thank you very much, Shadi Branch. That was your fix-it tips here, and we will, of course, Mr. Branch, hopefully will join us back next week when we dig into more financial fixes here, courtesy Republic Bank, right here on A Cup of Joe. We're coming right back. Stay with us. The show just getting started. We're still in Monday mode. Stay with us here.
There's really one bank you can depend on. One bank that leads the way. Technology and systems separate us from the rest. Republic gives only the best to you. We get personal attention, so explain for your inspection.
Want to know what you can do with Rani flatbread? You give steak a slice, lay pieces on Rani, sprinkle spice, add grated cheese and sweet peppers with a dice, and finish by rolling it up real nice.
Now that's a Rani good idea.
All right, great. Thanks for staying with us on this Monday morning, and we're moving into the segment that we have branded Cup for a Cause, where we focus on those organizations that do so much behind the scenes. And all of a sudden, since we've been doing this, a new one pops out every so often that I know nothing about, and this is one of them. It's called AFET. Don't know where Bill Jackson finds them, but it's called AFET. This one, the acronym is very simple: Association of Female Executives. So they've come together and formed an association to help young professional women. That's as much as I know. I have the president-elect with me. Miss Cavell Joseph is joining me on set. So thank you so much for being here, ma'am.
Thank you, Joel.
And you look like a very professional woman.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
This organization, I kind of need to know the genesis as why it was formed.
Okay, well, this started in 2002.
Back in 2002?
2002, 3 women came together, Lara Quenchel Thomas, Nicola Johnson, and Ria Yoshing, and they felt that there was always a concept of the all boys club, and that we needed an association, we being female executives, that would assist women and provide networking opportunities for them and developmental opportunities as well. So it's essentially an organization that facilitates networking for the executive woman and also assists with the younger folks that are working their way up through the corporate, the ladder, by providing programs that would assist them along the way.
So it's an all-girls club?
Well, somewhat, yes. Somewhat.
But it is an important aspect that I think is now being dealt with, because yes, the new age woman is, we're seeing women now as executives, and probably women, young girls need assistance in getting to that level, and you all are there to provide that assistance. Is that what it is?
Essentially, yes. Research would show you that networking plays a big part in how women climb the corporate ladder. And of course, having your name out there, being associated with the right people, getting the assistance in terms of working the corporate ladder, because you find that women need to get advice, you may have a career move that you want to make, and someone who would have been there could guide you along the way, provide the steps necessary to take you to the next level. The men do it so well, and it has worked for them, and why not in terms of us assisting each other? Women coming together and assisting each other in working their way up. My
apologies. Can I get you something to drink?
A cup of tea would be nice.
A cup of tea?
Yes.
A cup of tea for Cavell. Cavell, because as I said, when these organizations pop up, that sometimes I'm sure many people don't know about, the question is always in my mind, how are you all getting yourselves out there? I mean, how do young girls benefit from an organization such as yours? Young girls now leaving school. We just was speaking with Republic Bank a short while ago in terms of tertiary education. Are you all getting yourselves out there? How are you getting yourselves out there?
Well, it's funny you should say that. With regards to tertiary education, for example, AFA do support 2 students per year with bursaries, right? A lot of our programs and fundraisers, we raise funds for things like that. So providing bursaries is one. We do have our infamous Suit Me Up, and I say that because a lot of people are aware of it, where we do invite the corporate female executives, to donate their clothing, their suits. A lot of women are health conscious now, they're losing weight, and you find that, okay, you could donate good suits to this cause, and we do provide it at a sale. We sell the suits at a really reduced price.
It's called Suit Me Up.
Suit Me Up. It's at November 8th at the cruise ship complex.
So in other words, these are used suits.
Yes.
Reconditioned, I suppose.
Yes, dry clean, pressed, and ready for a sale.
And young budding executive women can come and get these suits at a reasonable price.
Yes.
Interesting.
We do have a lot of women with brand name suits, even corporate like dresses for functions, because we know at the end of the year you have big company dinners to attend. We have accessories, handbags, laptop cases. So a lot of women donate their clothing, and I must say we have a lot of generous people out there who support this cause, and this is our 12th edition of it. and it's on November 8th at the cruise ship complex. So right now we have our clothing drive on, and it's one of the ways we support young people and even women who are re-entering the workplace, because some women do take time out when they have kids or enter at a later stage because it's not necessarily young people, but you find sometimes because you may have had kids early and you enter the workplace a bit later, that you need the assistance. And this is one of the ways that we provide support. We also have our mentorship program as well. We've recently concluded a program with the young girls in the prisons, in the justice system. Where we provided mentorship and assisted them with preparing for interviews, doing over resumes, things like that, to prepare them for when they transition out of the system back into the real world. So
you all reach out to those organizations and get your people in there to do the mentorship. What about if a young girl watching now just wants some assistance now? Is it as an all-girls club where you have to come and meet prerequisites and so on before you are part or fall under the umbrella of AFET, or any young lady out there can become part of AFET?
Well, there are some prerequisites, yes. They could visit www.afet.com. That's AFETT.com. There is the online form that you could fill out. Usually what we look at, of course, is your credentials. So, of course, people who have degrees, but that is not the only prerequisite. We look at a young professional, somebody who has been like a skilled esthetician, or even somebody who's an artist, artisans, things like that, where you've been doing this.
Abeo could be part of
I've been encouraging Abeo for the longest while to join.
Does she fit the bill?
Yeah, she most certainly does. She most certainly does. But certainly even our artists and I mean, once you're a professional, what you do, you're seen as an opinion leader as well. You can join AFET. You can become a member of AFET.
Right. So it's while it's an exclusive club, it's very wide.
Yes.
You offer that help to as many young women as possible.
Yes, and even from different professional fields, because in the past you'd find a lot of HR practitioners involved in AFET, but now we have engineers on board, we have IT people on board. So it's different professional backgrounds that you could draw on these women, their experience and their skill sets as well. And we find a lot of women now entering the whole realm of entrepreneurship. So you want to open up a store, you want to open up a spa, as the case may be.
Because that's an example of some of these young women that may be wanting to do entrepreneurial stuff. May not necessarily be qualified, may not necessarily have that level of executive nature that you're talking about. How do you assess that? And are those ladies welcome as well? And will you all assist those ladies?
They are most certainly welcome. And we find even some of our directors or previous directors, they've all gone on to do great things from that angle. A few of our directors have opened up their own businesses and stores. And we find a lot of women now going that way, as opposed to the strict corporate world, so to speak. You know?
8 to 4.
Yes.
Can we get some information as to how young women can get on to you? If it is someone wants to reach out to you guys, are you all online? I think you said afet.com. Is there an email address, a telephone number that you want to leave with us?
Well, certainly, again, they can look at our website, www.afet.com. They can call 498-8297. The website is very detailed in terms of becoming members, in terms of all our work and our projects, the constitution, the committees, because of course we require that kind of support through committees. We are 100% NGO, we don't have a subvention. So assisting and working on committees is important because we need that assistance with fundraisers in particular. We have 3 signature fundraisers now, the Suit Me Up that I just spoke about. And we also have our Carnival Cruise. It was the first time this year we had one. It was quite successful. And then we have a Mother's Day brunch as well. So it's 3 major calendar items.
Fundraising events.
Yes.
All right. Cavell, Joseph, thank you very much for joining me this morning and sharing on that aspect of the Association of Female Executives here in T&T. If you're a young woman out there and you want some assistance, you want to network as you work your way up that corporate ladder, Cavell Joseph and her team can help you. All right. Taking a short break here on A Cup of Joe. When we come back, we put a wrap on it. We have another spoken word spotlight artist coming.
There's really one bank you can depend on.
Hello there. I'm sure you recognize him, but you may not know me. I'm Mr. Peanut's stunt double. I used to go by Mr. Peanut Butter, but somebody thought I was infringing on his trademark. So now I have to go by Doug. Peanut Butter Doug. Roll it!
Cut. Action. Cut.
Amazing stuff. You paying attention over there? That's called acting. That's what separates the real actors. I'm okay. Introducing Planters Peanut Butter. Naturally remarkable.
Hey, we're back. Great show today. Great show today. Really enjoyed speaking with Amrit Samaroo,
Yes.
the son of Chit Samaroo.
Very moving interview, very
moving.
heartfelt.
Good to recognize that he is fighting to carry on his father's legacy. Surprised, I didn't recognize that was happening in the Samaroo family.
And like he said, that was by choice.
Yeah.
And I understand that need for privacy within a family.
Totally,
and such.
totally. But we are closing off the show with our spoken word spotlight, and we have a new man in the spotlight. He doesn't look new because he is a part of a twin that was here before a couple of weeks ago.
So we had
Brenden
Brandon.
Brandon?
We had Brandon. We had Brandon. This is Brenden.
Brandon was here a while ago, and now Brandon, the
Yes.
first twin, is here.
The first twin.
Yeah, I came out first. For what it's worth, yeah.
For what it's worth, you're like a whole 2 minutes older.
Actually, well, my mom says I'm half an hour, so I'm half an hour older than
You're
Brandon.
half
an hour?
Wow.
Brandon.
Your brother put your mother through agony for another half an hour.
He was lazy when he was young.
What was he doing in there for so long?
Chilling. Just chilling.
You liked it in there?
Free food, nice and warm.
What's not to love?
Yeah.
So clearly they both have an awesome sense of humor.
Yeah,
they're both
yeah.
extremely talented, and this is why they're both inside of the spoken word spotlight.
Yeah.
This is a young man who also has his own performing company, The Artist Performing Company.
Artist Performing Arts Company.
Right.
Just recently finished an original play of mine called Body Equals Barrier. And looking forward to new things before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year.
We already have a new play planned, and probably maybe sometime soon you get to talk about it.
Could talk about it fair, and that's fine, yes.
Very good, very good.
So they're doing great things, and it being a very nationalistic type week here on A Cup of Joe, little birdie whispered to me there's a little bit of nationalism in this piece you're going to do?
A little bit of nationalism, but it's more about national awareness. I think we as Trinidadians and Tobagonians need to be aware of the state of affairs of our nation as it is right now, and if we really care about our country, we should be concerned. Yeah,
fair.
because I'm really concerned, and that's what I'm going to share hopefully this afternoon.
Nice. So the stage is yours.
Yes.
Brenden.
All right, take it away.
Name tag soon. Yeah? All right, so the piece that I'm going to do today is called This Our Flag.
It is too late, mama. Them boys done covered. It's too late, papa. Can't you see the undertakers? My observation of this story is a red blood-stained white sheet with black boys underneath. Red, white, and black. Don't you see how this looks like our national flag? Them gone. Them boys, them gone. Them gone. Them boys, them not gone too far away from me. The squalor of silots is still a stench my mother remembers, and I have conceptions about this kind of unclean. Truth is, I'm scared to death of dying how we die. Laid to waste on the corner by lead reavers, either because we sold drugs or sold out. Truth is, I'm scared to death of dying how we live. Laying waste corner to corner, bowing head to the toil for another slave master, beg, borrow, or steal. When the big boys do it, it's just another business deal, but I'm just another dark as midnight robber. Truth is, I'm sometimes scared to death of this color of shadow skin, a grim reminder that light is absent here for some. I have conceptions about this kind of unclean, this kind of rape and kill and steal, and to the means the end seems ideal. I walk alone at night with a little knife that I found, clutched in my right hand like the other half of a prayer. Let them dare take what's mine. They take my last $6 on the bus stop. They took my laptop on the ancestral grounds. When they tried to rob my brethren, all he had was a Bible. So I clutch this knife like the next best thing to a non-believer. Maybe this is my miracle. A makeshift shank I found on the roundabout. I used to live by the pencil tip. Seems this knife might change my life. I only hope it doesn't take my life. I don't even know who made this knife. I have conceptions about this kind of unclean. But at least a single crimson red is uniform. This blood, limbs outstretched against the fabric and touching, seems the closest we might get to unity. And following suit are these hands, joined in prayer and mourning, shoulders wet with grief, heads heavy and in hands, voices in unison with elegy and dirge and lament. How many young boys must fall for all of us to stand together this one time? I have conceptions about this flag that we wear. Blacks only at the center when surrounded by white chalk lines and blood is oozing out on all sides. There is nothing to be proud of. Someone planted this flag here, and their intention was not our standing at attention, but some other black boy's termination. But if my dying, drying cells are to pour out in the color of this great nation, I only hope that it paints the picture of peace that I want to see. Because your tears can't wash this out. There's too much blood in this, our flag. Blessings, compassion, peace, and love, everybody.
Well done. Well
Thanks so much.
Well done. This is totally separate and apart from what we just, well, actually, no. I'm actually working on a piece right now for an upcoming festival that deals with that, because it's been heavy on my heart. You know, you've been hearing talk about kill all of them. You know, they are staying on the nation, kill them, and we vilify certain areas and we vilify certain colors, and but at the end of the day, a lot of these young boys that are dying and staining our streets red are children. It's like child warfare. You know, we've seen it, we've watched the movies, we've seen Blood Diamond, we've seen where guns are put in children's hands to fight a war that does not belong to them. And I feel like it's time for us to start seeing it like that, as opposed to saying that one section of society
just get rid of them and everybody will be all right.
Sorry, no, but this is a topic that is very, very near and dear to my heart, and I'm building a piece right now, and I feel I want to borrow your piece.
That would be brilliant.
To put movement.
I don't mind that at all, because it is something that I care about as well too. I think we need to be, I think if we care about our nation, if we care about youth, we need to understand that the system that we live in kind of, I don't want to say breeds victims, but that's probably closest to it.
Yes. The reason I feel as though the systems in this country don't work for a reason. It's serving someone, it's at somebody's benefit. It is beneficial to somebody that the systems don't work. So you always have a pool of unsuspecting, of easy targets to choose from, to fight a war that, again, does not belong to them. That's how I feel about it. Trinidad, it could be vexing, but that's how I feel about it. So,
That's true. Excellent piece, my brother. Excellent.
Brilliant work.
And as I said, you guys just need to keep speaking.
I definitely plan to. If no one else is going to talk, then we have to
Somebody,
talk.
Indeed.
And I'm pleading for Brenden and Brandon to come back on a couple of
Look, we actually, I'm going to say that here, Brandon and I are building a couple pieces. We're starting a little project that if y'all are interested, I'd love to share here.
Share as well. We are game. We are very game. That's what we are about.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to meet you.
Indeed.
Brenden. I tell your name tags coming soon.
So there you have it. That's Cup of Joe for today. What a wonderful way to end. I hope these pieces are inspiring conversation, because that is what it's about. Talk about it. That's the only way we could get to the bottom of the issues, come to some solutions.
All right, so that's it. We want to, of course, thank the fine folk at Drink Lounge and Bistro for continuing to host us here, the Cup of Joe. And, of course, Amanda, Faces of Belarus. She continues to make us look all so beautiful. I'm looking beautiful.
You look beautiful.
Very
dashing. Dashing is how you look.
And of course,
Brandit.
And we want to thank the fine folk at Brandit, of course, for all our paraphernalia this season, making us look all sharper than usual. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. It's a Cup of Joe TT. If you want to drop us an email, it's acupofjoe@tt@gmail.com. Right? That's going to do it. Anything I left out?
No, I think that's it.
I covered it all?
Until when? Until Wednesday,
Until Wednesday. Whatever you're having in your cup, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. We'll be back on Wednesday with another edition here on A Cup of Joe. Stay with us.